Hey, this is Khalid with Urban Kids Universe, and welcome to another episode of UKU Impacting Education Show, where we help early childhood educators, childcare directors, homeschoolers, and parents make an impact. Today, we are going to talk about play-based curriculum, and I have Pareese with me. What's up? What's up?
Hi, I'm very excited about this. Play is extremely important with children, so this is going to be a really cool conversation.
Absolutely. So let's dive right in. I'm gonna ask you to take the lead and give us some intro about this topic, and then I'll
Sure.
ask you my questions here, like always.
Okay, sure.
Go for it.
All right, so play-based curriculum is exactly what it sounds like. For anyone wondering what it is, it's focusing mainly on imagination during play for the purpose of learning. Play is open-ended and can have many different types of play, such as like risky play or outdoor play, solitary play, pretend play. There's endless possibilities of what play can look like. And within every child, it can be different.
Totally. Wow. You know what? I believe it's the play is just to grow up with you as you go, always, right?
Exactly. It's just
Yes,
whatever they find fun, they learn through it anyway.
absolutely. Okay, let's dive right in. And I have my first question for you here. Why play is important?
Well, play stimulates healthy brain development by enabling children to use their thinking, such as their cognitive skills, their social skills, their language, their imagination, creativity, emotions, their bodies, everything about their human being is what they're using through play. Is how there's this is what healthy brain development looks like. Uh, During play, children learn about the world around them. All the possibilities are endless. They find what things work, what doesn't work, how we can do this. If you want to go and get a stick and I don't know, stick it in the mug. Let's see if it sticks. Like it's play is just the sole purpose for children to understand what they're doing in a sense. In the most simplest term, I could probably explain it. It's it's kind of like their way of learning, but they're not playing for the sole purpose of learning. They're doing it because they think it's fun. But from a professional point of view, it's they're learning through all of that. They're learning everything through that at such an early age.
Well, you know what? My own feedback as a parent and my personal feedback, it's absolutely the way to go is learning through playing. It's absolutely the way to go, regardless the age, by the way. Okay. And I will give you my origin story about this one. When I came here to Canada, I thought I knew English. I thought I knew English because this is exactly the way we learned it, where I'm going to share it with you so people, especially parents at home, don't do this. Okay. So we enter the class to learn English, and then the teacher say apple, and then everybody say apple, and the teacher say again apple, everybody, right? Again apple, again apple, 10 times, and then we know that that image is an apple. When I came here, I realized I don't know any English, zero. So I had to learn. Really, literally, I went to the library and I opened Barney the dinosaur. Do you remember the Barney,
Yes, I
yeah, the
grew up
purple
on
dinosaur?
Barney.
And I used to watch these videos, and I was like, almost like this is like almost 5 years ago or 6 years ago, and I was always thinking, while they're playing, why Barney like teaching them, like, why are they having fun outside? Why are they singing to the rainbow? They should say red, green, like they
Oh
shouldn't play.
wow.
And believe it or not, all of this current English, even with my age, I learned it because I was having fun with the kids, repeating with them, having fun.
Yes,
So
exactly.
the playing, learning through playing, totally is the way to go.
Yeah, because like my kids will like I like to give them puzzles, just to like for like fine motor and cognitive skills. Some activities for that could be like puzzles and stuff, and that's still playing. Um, so sometimes I'll give them just table activities to do while I'm cleaning the rest of the room. And some of them will actually figure out two different puzzles and put them together and see what happens. So I have like a stacking puzzle, and then I have I think it's like I don't even know what this is. It's like fish that like are big size. It's like a big size that fits into a smaller size and fits into a smaller size. I have that thing too, but this stacking one, it's just pieces that fit together, and this one is like big beads things that like go on to the stick, and they actually switched it and put it like together, and they were like stacking everything on top to see what would happen. And I mean, they got it stuck together, so I didn't know how to take it apart. We had to figure it out, and then so I got frustrated with it. I couldn't get it out. I couldn't figure out because it was like wedged in it. I don't know how they did that. And then they literally threw it. They threw it across the room. They thought it was funny, and they started laughing, but it came apart.
Yeah.
It fixed it on their own, and they thought that was fun because they were just
Yes.
playing.
Yes.
So and
Yes.
that was their problem solving. They're like, what if I just throw this? And they just threw it. I don't know why. They're not allowed to throw inside, but obviously they will anyway. And they just threw it across the room, and all of a sudden, boom, it's apart. I was okay, cool.
Yes.
Do it again.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Let's keep going. So what does play look like?
What does play look like?
Yeah.
So
We are talking about the curriculum through play.
Yeah, so play can look like a lot of things within the classroom. It can look very different, depending on every child and what they're doing. For example, it can look like onlooker play. So onlooker play is basically when a child is watching other children play. They're just sitting there and watching, kind of like a bystander. They're just watching everybody. They don't really want to play by themselves. They don't want to play with someone else, but they're watching people play. It can look like parallel play. Parallel play is when they're playing with the same materials beside each other. So, like if they're sitting on the carpet and they are playing with blocks, but they're not playing with each other, but they have like their own blocks. That's parallel play. It can also look like solitary play. That's just playing on their own. They're just playing on their own, stuck in their own imagination, and they're just either babbling or talking to themselves. They're just like doing their own thing. Play can also be quiet, so like for example, like I said, like playing with blocks or playing with a baby. That's pretty quiet. Or it can be very loud. It can be serious, like concentration, or it can be silly, like banging pots to make music. They do that a lot with the kitchen materials that they have in the classroom. They like to bang them together, and they walk around the classroom like a marching band, basically. They do that on their own. I don't do that. They do it on their own. They just bang things together.
Well, I love that you are giving us many examples, because
yeah,
honestly,
I'm just trying to give examples. I'm gonna move into a story that I have about it, but I have like examples.
Keep sharing. Why? Because like we as parents, we don't know, let's say, silent play, because we know the play that we created on our own. But when we know there are different type of plays and you share some examples, you inspire us.
Yeah. So
right? So
yes,
keep going.
Children inspire all of us to, like, especially like in my classroom, the children that I have in my classroom, just watching them free play is literally inspiration for me, to create lesson plans, create activities, things like that. That is fun, stuck into their interests. So like play is not, they don't play because they want to learn. They play because they think it's fun. They want to figure out how things work. They want to figure out what they can do. They want to see what things do, what makes noise, what doesn't make noise. Like I have a kid in my class. He only does he just watches people play. He just onlooker play. He just has onlooker play all the time. He'll just watch people play, and then yeah, he'll just stand there and watch people play sometimes, and because he doesn't know what they're doing. They don't really know. Like he doesn't know how to work with the toys that they're playing with, so he just kind of watches them, and eventually he caught on to it. Like outside, he was always watching them go up and down the slide, and he doesn't do that. He just watches them go up and down the slide, and then he starts attempting to go up the ladder himself. A few weeks in, he kept watching them, and then he starts going up the ladder himself because he wants to figure out how they do it. He failed a few times, but now he's getting it. So from onlooker play, he's learning how things work by just visually watching it. So then he attempts it himself, and then he does it. Or in the classroom, I have other boys that like to climb on the shelves all the time, and he watches them play. He watches them climb, and he watches me pull them off the shelf, and they're laughing because flying off the shelf is a lot more fun than just climbing down themselves. So then he starts doing it. They think this is fun. This is play for them. They're understanding, like, they're still understanding right from wrong through this process as well. Because with my words as well in the classroom, that's how they will learn right from wrong. But these play aspects is what he uses to learn how to do things. He doesn't do it on his own. He just watches and then does it.
Okay, two feedback right away on this exact point. It's a very amazing that if we know that their personality is to observe first and then do it later, okay, be patient. Okay,
Yes.
because you will be surprised that they are really processing everything, and at the same time they're enjoying it. Like even you can see it with older age. You see a lot of people, they enjoy watching the others playing video games, for example, more than they play it themselves, and they are just enjoying it. So even the children, if they're not really playing it at first, they're still enjoying it. This is number one. Number two, what I think is you just appointed for a very important point. You said, with my words, with my explanation, they got into what's right and wrong, and they got also into how the game gonna be set up the right way, right? So this is, I believe, a very nice feedback to be immersed with them in the play, right? And
Yes.
just get right into it.
Yeah, I have a lot of kids also that like to play in the home area because they see their mom and dad cooking in the kitchen a lot. So then they'll go to the home area and they mimic what they do in in the kitchen. They'll take pots and pans, they'll take fruits and veggies and they'll put them in the pots and pans. They take a spoon, they'll stir it. They'll take like plates and they'll put food on the plates and then they'll go sit down on the table. They mimic what they do at home, but this is play for them.
100%. I see
These
that with
life
Senna,
skills.
my daughter, every day. I see her cooking every day,
Yes,
right?
because they watch that. This is their onlooker play. They watch. And then when they're put into their own environment, like my classroom, that's just everything's their size, everything is open to them. They see a kitchen, that's their play. That's their imaginary play. They're mimicking what their parents do at home.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I just love it. Well, again, play is the way to go. And they are learning a lot.
Literally, always.
Yes, absolutely. And you know what? The key here to make to impact the not the impact to add the curriculum or to add all of the learning aspect through the playing. Keep asking them open-ended questions, right?
Yes,
Like and
exactly.
keep adding your own feedback and that extra question. Always, this is where it make it like the learning aspect linked to the play, right?
Yes.
Okay, the next question, if you may. Okay, so okay, I believe we kind of answered this question. I'll ask you the question, but I want you to dive into it again, even with more examples. How does play help a child learn? Like, I believe also when we ask them the question, what are they playing? Okay, give us some examples.
Sure. Okay. So this is a little different from the previous question. Because we were just talking about what play looks like, and we were just like having conversation really deep in depth into it. But how a child learns through play, play like supports the development of skills. As I said previously, such as like literacy, numeracy, in ways which are impactful for the children. They are the ones that are initiating these skill sets, that are initiating the activities and the play to learn all of this. So play helps children focus on problem solving and thinking for themselves. Like when they're stuck on an issue during play, instead of just doing it for them, they figure it out on their own. They'll always find a way, no matter what. Like throwing something to get it apart. Like it's just those little things they're gonna figure it out on their own. Some examples of how people can learn from play, like for example, it can be like playing with blocks. Playing with blocks can work on their numerous, like their mathematical skills, can work on their visual memory. So they can see like how different blocks fit together or what blocks, like color coordinating blocks. And so that's their visual memory. They're watching what they're doing. It also works on their scientific reasoning. What would happen if I put a block near the edge? It's going to fall, or is it going to balance? It's going to work on their focus during activities and their problem solving. Because if it falls, what are they going to do? They're going to start to rebuild, like build it back up again. They're going to build it back up, but they knew that they put it onto the side a little too much and it fell. So we're going to problem solve and fix that and do it again and put it right in the middle this time. Toddlers aren't always perfect. Any small young child, preschoolers, kindergarten, they're all not perfect. So they're going to figure out, because their visual memory, they're going to be watching themselves build this tower and it's going to fall. They're going to know what they did wrong. So they're going to rebuild it again. Something else that can also help children learn, another example could be drawing pictures. Drawing pictures, they learn to use symbols to represent ideas, which links into reading and writing. So if they're drawing scribbles and they're telling you what these scribbles mean, eventually they're going to catch on to what they visually see a picture of. So say it's like a big yellow scribble on the paper, and later they learned about what a sun looks like. They're going to eventually keep that in their memory, but then they're going to attempt to draw a circle with the lines around it. That'll eventually, that's a symbol. It'll eventually end up going to reading and writing. So being able to read words, short, simple words to big words, tracing letters, and then being able to do it on their own by themselves and write a word. It's gradual, very, very gradual, but just drawing pictures is the very, very start of it. They still learn from that.
Well, here is also my feedback or advice to parents. When you see like just scribble of yellow, you help them imagine and tell them, oh, this is a sun. Like you try to go and think it like the way they think it, because for them, they almost picture the sun in that like just a scribble of yellowish, right? Like
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes,
Awesome.
exactly. Like I have, like my we actually just drew pictures the other day with my toddlers, and I wanted to see what their pictures meant to them. So I let them scribble away on paper, and then I went to every kid and I asked them what they're drawing. And one of the kids said, I'm drawing a school bus. And he was using yellow, he was using blue, there was red on there. From a picture of a school bus he's seen before, that we saw in a picture book earlier that morning, those are the exact same colors he was putting on that paper. Yellow, blue, black, red, but he knew it was a school bus. Like, yeah, this is a school bus. It was just a scribble. It didn't look anything like a school bus to me, but it was a school bus to him.
You know what?
Soon it's gonna get there. He's gonna be able to draw that school bus soon.
Wowzer. You know why you wowed me? Because almost the exact same example happened with my daughter Senna. She's 3 years old almost, like this by the end of this month. Oh, wow. And she was imagining school bus, and like we kept going with the conversation, we kept talking, and she said, Dad, you always take care of me. Are you gonna take care of me? Where? In the school bus. So I was looking like, oh, like she kept, this is the exact example. We were talking about the school bus. Oh my God, you just wowed me right now. Because this is how they think. Yes, exactly. And this specific kid that loves buses, tractors, trucks, things like that. So when it comes to those big vehicles, he loves to put any imagination about them into whatever he's doing. So if he can have literally a block and he can just be stacking on top of the block, and then I'll be like, what are you doing? And he goes, tractor's gonna pull this. Because he'll get a tractor toy that I have in the car bin, and he will attach the tractor to it and he will try to pull them. Yes. Because he's surrounded by tractors. He knows what these are. So he loves them a lot. Wow. I love their imagination, and he's just a toddler too. He's just turned 2 like the other month, so he has a huge imagination. He loves these trucks and everything, so I try to incorporate that a lot. And he likes he loves school buses. Everyone loves school buses. I keep the windows open because now it's school time, like school's open or anything, so they see them. They always see school buses passing. So they'll always point the school buses out when they see it through the window, because we're right by a road, so we can see all the buses come by. Yes, they're always pointing out these yellow school buses. Yes. And did you guys like end up, let's say, pretending driving school bus? Yes, or we'll like sing Wheels on the Bus, and everyone knows the words. Like everybody knows the words to it. Every kid I have knows all the words to Wheels on the Bus. Wow, it's amazing. Yeah. Another example I did have was for pretend play. So through pretend play, the children can learn and build social skills, their language, understanding social expectations.
So an example I could put with this, I have a child that loves babies. She loves babies. She loves the dolls and everything. She loves playing the home area. She would take her baby. She would swaddle her baby, and because I taught her how to swaddle the baby, because she used to ask me all the time to help her swaddle it. So I taught her how to. So she does it on her own. She'll wrap the baby up in a blanket, and she'll go and lay the baby on the beds. The beds are stacked in the corner, and she'll lay baby on top of the beds, just on top of it. I don't know why, but she understands that we sleep in the beds. So she puts the baby to nap, and she comes up to me and she's like, "Baby sleeping," and then she goes to the kitchen and she'll make food, and she goes, "I have to feed baby."
Nice.
So she'll go put it on the table. She'll grab baby. She'll go over to the couches. She'll sit down and she'll pretend to feed baby.
Wow.
She's just a toddler. She's just going to preschool too. But we encourage this pretend play.
Yes.
And it also helps that her parents do this at home as well. It helps a lot. That her parents are very invested in her developing and learning. So this is a big thing that I think is amazing with pretend play. This is the best example I could probably give for this. She's learning how to take care of a baby through, and she doesn't have any siblings either. No younger siblings, no baby siblings, nothing. She just learned to pick it up. She wants a baby though. She wants to have a younger sibling so she can help take care of it. So I think that'll be a great learning opportunity for her as well. And I think this is the best thing I could probably say about pretend play is she's learning these social cues. She's learning these life skills, and she's building this language saying, baby has to do this, baby has to do that. I have to go and get baby. Or she'll get in the car outside and be like, "Bye, Miss P, I'll see you tomorrow morning." And then she'll pretend to drive the car away. And then she'll get out. She's like, "Hi, Miss P, I'm back." She does this all the time.
Yes.
And then she'll say, "Hi." She'll like go to all of her friends and she'll be like, "Hello." And she'll like call them, and then, like she'll say their names. Like she'll say everyone's name. She'll say hi to everybody. And she's like, "Bye, everyone. I'll see you guys tomorrow." She does it all the time because she constantly hears this. So she uses that in her own pretend play. She's using all those life skills, that language. Everything's being built up super, super quickly just because she keeps hearing this. It's like the consistency, the repetition, and everything she's hearing on day-to-day basis.
Well, this is the key: consistency and repetition, right? This is the key that makes it not just a normal play, that they're really learning a lot through it. And to be honest, like we see this a lot in different, like almost in every house, and you see like how much their parent invested in their development when you see the child taking it to multi-level. Another level, right? And they go deep, and like this child like just heard this, and they saw this so many times, and they got help onto this level. Absolutely, I love it.
Okay. So I think that was like, this child so far has been the highlight of basically the entire definition of learning through play. She, like, so far, like throughout my entire career in early childhood, this one child, everything I've seen from this one child has been like the definition for myself of what learning through play is really like. She's having fun doing it. She's figuring out how to do new things. She's like swaddling a baby. She never knew how to do that before. She figured it out because I showed her the first time she watched me on Look or Play. She was watching me do it, and then she did it.
Well, here is my message to the parents. You just mentioned that her parents, they really invested a lot in her, right? So here is the message to every parent from this episode. They're gonna learn through playing at school and at childcare anyways. This is your job, guys. This is what you are really doing, and you are very passionate about, right? But if we didn't, as parents, we didn't extend it and we do it more and more at home, it will be anyways effective, but not as effective as if we take it at home and we do it and we continue, right? So this is the message. Just keep doing it. Like, I would love right now to hear in the future, maybe after 1 year, when Sana at school, they mentioned that Sana is the highlight of learning development and social skills. I would love to hear it.
That would be amazing.
Absolutely. As a father, I would love to hear this. And this is a message to everybody. Okay.
Exactly. Yes. Yes. Children like to also learn cause and effect too. So this whole thing about cause and effect in children during play, they like to do something and see what would happen after. They want to know what the outcome would be. So a simple little activity is when you're doing arts and crafts, and you know how they like to mix paint, like to mix all the paints together, see what would happen, see what color it makes. That's the cause and effect. They like to see one thing turn into something else, or have a toy and see if you press this button, what's going to happen. It's going to make noise. Is something going to pop up? You don't know, but they want to know. So they're going to push that button. They're going to push it. They're going to use their index finger and push it.
Yes.
So
We touched on this point last time when we were talking about puddle of water, if they want to jump in it, I believe so. However, the point is of the cause and effect for us as parents, if we always want to stop them from continuing that game because we knew the result and they're going to make a mess, this is a problem. We should not make it. Let them continue with it. I have an example here. Absolutely. I have an example here where also we were teaching Sana how she can eat a boiled egg on her own, right? Well, that was very messy. I remember, like, I believe maybe I have video, like and that was the first time we were trying to teach her eating the egg with a fork, and it got so messy, like so much. Okay, but we enjoyed it, and over time, I remember after like doing this for almost a month and a half, or like maybe 2 months, so many people came to when they visit or they saw Senna eating with fork at UKU videos. They said, "How come at this age she can eat at fork, like using the fork?" And you can see her like the first time the fork going, and then like she doesn't really know how to do it. But she learned using the fork from the cause and effect of how she can put it like in the egg, soft egg, and then she failed every time for the month and a half.
Yes.
And then she made it through. That's amazing. The cause and effect, I believe, something very important, aside of the risky stuff, which is electricity or like all of these stuff. I believe we should encourage this so much.
Yes, for sure. Like building blocks and knocking it over. What will happen if you knock it over? It's gonna make noise. It's gonna go everywhere. But they like seeing that. They like that, and they're gonna pick it all up. They're gonna do it again because they think it's fun. Yes. I have a child. He's like one of my new children that started. He loves doing that. He loves the whole cause and effect in play. He will build everything possible that he can see up in the tower, and he'll just like walk right into it. He'll just knock it over, and he dies laughing. Loves it. Yes. And then he'll pick it all back up, do it all over again. High concentration, trying to stack it all because he's very young, so he's trying to stack it very carefully, and then he'll walk right into it again. And everything goes everywhere, makes a big noise, and then he got everybody else joining in too. He's got everybody else laughing when he knocks it over. We got onlooker play with some children that are just standing there watching, and then when it gets knocked over, they start laughing. Everything. This one child got everybody involved. This play is like cause and effect is amazing. I highly suggest incorporating any of this into their play as much as possible.
Okay, awesome. So let's go to the next question I have here. So how can I incorporate play into my busy schedule at home?
So you can simply do this by playing games while doing everyday routines that you would usually do and just bring your child along. So some examples like going grocery shopping and having games like creating crazy like recipes and stuff, like what would you put on your pizza, and have them name anything they possibly want to put on it. Or play I Spy, or matching games like, oh, this is blue, find something else is blue. Things like that. Or do picnics in your backyard and have them plan it with you. This can make lunch easier at home as well. It gets them engaged into everyday routines. It gets them thinking, their cognitive, their social, everything about that is just, they're in it with you. They know that they're going to be a part of it. So just let them plan it, and whatever they want in that picnic, bring it outside. It can just be your backyard. It doesn't have to be like on a trail or at a park or anything. It can simply be in your backyard if you don't want to leave your house. You can also do in the car, do I Spy or sing songs. You can sing songs during cleanup. So if you're cleaning up at home, you can sing songs to get them helping. Anything like that, these small little things will get them engaged in play and make it fun for them to learn life skills in a sense.
Yes. Well, here is the catch. The kids like already trying to mimic and copy their moms, right? Like cooking. So if the mom is cooking, like literally cooking right now, to add extra 5 minutes while she's cooking and preparing and do the play while she's cooking. Okay, the child on the bench or in their seat and they're playing while they are cooking. Yeah, that's awesome. Like just do it while you are cooking. And regarding the like you mentioned the playing I Spy in the car. Well, here is the catch: the make believe games. Okay, even cooking while they are sitting inside the car seat, like whatever make believe. If you have a good story, you create whatever you want, wherever you want, wherever you want, right? Like this is what I realized. If you can create the story and dive into it with them, that's just gonna be so amazing, regardless. Okay, here is the catch. I remember myself when I was a kid, like not up to that age, like a little bit older. Like when I was young, I didn't have access to a lot of toys, just because like we didn't have the luxury of these toys around right now. But I used to have double A batteries.
Okay.
Literally. So I have the Duracell double A batteries and the Samsung Panasonic, I remember, double A batteries. And each battery for me, the brown, which is the Duracell, and the silver, which is the Panasonic. So I used to play with them. I have five set of five, which is they are like just drained out. My father doesn't want them. He doesn't want them anymore. So I use them. And my mom come and they say, "What are you playing?" Like, and I'm going, I'm playing. And then I said, this is an airplane. This, which is similar, it's exact thing. This is a car. And here, this is the man who's riding the airplane. And this is an apple. Like, I was old enough to remember it up to this point, but the make believe like can absolutely make everything from anything. Anything.
Oh yeah, for sure. I have some preschoolers that believe in like unicorns and fairies and stuff. So sometimes when I don't see them engaging in any play outside, I'll tell them to look up into the clouds, see if they can spot anything, and see if they can find any unicorns or fairies up there. So
Yes.
because they
Yes.
think that they live up in the clouds. So because I would like try to talk to them about what they believe in and everything. So they like brought up unicorn stuff because there was someone they were like wearing all like unicorn shirts. So I was like, if I don't see them engaging in play or if they're upset, I will actually tell them like look up like what do you see up there? I think there's some unicorns. Look as close as possible. And they get so excited, and then they start getting everybody else to try and find them, and then they'll go running around, and then they'll pretend that they're riding unicorns or something like that. Like
Totally.
it's
Totally.
just these small little things that can just change their minds into thinking things are fun instead of boring.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You know what? Here is, may I give them a teaser to our audience? Like something, just sneak peek something. Okay. So as you already absolutely know that we are creating the ultimate activity prep guide for parent, where we are going to share with the parent and ECEs. We are going to share a lot of activities. And now I'm going to also give them one more teaser. We are going to share 365 activities. So we are going to share them for free once every day. So we are writing them right now, right? And the last time of the last part of the teaser, the phase two of this, we are going to record all of that in short clips as videos. So they can see also like everything, how it's work and how the kids are playing with it as videos at the end. How
Wonderful.
was that?
That sounds great. I think a lot of people are going to appreciate all of that.
Yes, we
All
are
the
going.
work being put in to have activities that are already provided, which would be amazing.
This is gonna be like give them a lot of ideas, right? Like we all would love to play, and like we are on a mission here to serve people, and we're gonna take
Yes.
this to the next level. Oh,
Especially with like
I'm
me
so
being an
passionate about it.
ECE, like especially with me being an ECE, like those activities will be extremely helpful in the fact that I mean there's 365 and they can be like themed for winter. So like with Christmas and things like that, or Valentine's Day, or like Thanksgiving or Halloween, things like that. It's easy. Boom, boom, boom. There's my activities. I don't
Absolutely.
have to worry about anything. I can do all my documentation. I can do everything else that I have on the side instead of having to plan all that.
Absolutely. And you know what is the nice part about it is like when we are getting all of this feedback from ECEs, like the theme is gonna be also age related. Like just last week I received the age related. Like they told me that Khaled, we saw a lot of activities that made for kindergarten age and higher or older, but we didn't see a lot of infants, right? And I was doing a lot of research, and yesterday I saw like this very great idea where the cause and effect of teaching two colors for the infant age, they're creating the what we call it, the activity using something edible. Let's say instead of coloring anything, now you are coloring a yogurt inside the bathtub. So the kids are playing and playing with the colors, but if they put it in their mouth, it's still edible. And then you just give them a bath. And then this is activity. This is amazing because the feedback keep improving everything, right?
Yes,
I have one
exactly.
more question, and then I also have one more example to share, and then we will go to the action point. Okay. So how can I support my child in a play?
So you can support your child in play by making play a priority at home. This is the number one thing that I would suggest any parent doing. Making play priority means exactly what we discussed in the last question. Making games out of everyday routines. All these small little things to make it into play. Activities can be made by your own. It could also be used from the UKU website, which will be available soon, which I'm very excited about.
You're
To
already part of the
inspire
community. You're gonna receive them on daily basis. So
and to inspire for inspiration, for use, anything possible. Use these to your advantage. I tell all you moms and dads out there, use them to your advantage. I would also suggest taking time to step back and let your child play. See, like at a park or by themselves, observe them, see how they play, see what their interests are. Be able to take those notes and observations from what your child is doing and use those notes to implement something that they will enjoy at home or with their friends. Try to engage with your child as much as possible as well by open-ended questions. Play with them. This will not only help them, but help you understand your child in play. Does that make sense?
absolutely. The minute you
Yes.
add open-ended question or any question, you are adding knowledge to the game. You are teaching through the game.
Yes.
Absolutely. And it will stack. It will stack a lot during the time. And then they're just gonna have a lot already. And they're gonna
Yes.
be the highlighted kids.
Have them around you as much as possible. They'll pick
Now,
up so much that you don't even know.
I want to show you something amazing, and then I'll let you go with the action points, which is basically an app. I'll show it to you right now, which is UKU AR. Okay, so we created this one. It's a free app that you can find on the Apple Store, the Play Store. Soon it's going to be on Apple Store, not yet. So basically, teaching through playing. This is exactly what's created for this exact concept. So people gonna have this app and then click start. By the way, now Zoom is converting my green screen to purple. Now you're gonna see it here as well, trying to convert it. Okay, so here we go. So when you start, the app gonna ask you to scan the QR code, which is we have 10 of them right now for free. I'll grab the app this way and then I'll share it. Here we go. So look what we have here. So basically, it's scanning the AR, the QR code, and it's showing. Let me just do it this way, and it's showing shapes.
That's
And
cool.
and myself at home, we play shapes hide and seek.
That's so
And then
cool.
I hide another one, let's say inside the fridge, and Sana has to find it. Here we go, and here we go. Look at this one. This is an oval. Here we go. This is an oval,
Wow,
and
that's
it's a
so
3D, by the way.
cool.
I'll show you one last one.
This would be very helpful, especially from nowadays, like because of technology and modernization and everything. Everyone's incorporating so much more technology in
Yeah.
like their young children, like watching TV or using kids' apps and everything on tablets. This will definitely be fun. This
Well,
I wish I was a kid now because that looks fun.
well,
That
the
looks a
goal
lot
of
of
this
fun.
one, honestly, the goal of this one is to make it interactive and like physical activities inside the digital world. We wanted the physical activities, right? So we're
Yeah.
taking the hide and seek to the next level, and we are going to share these 10 QR codes for free. It's a free app, okay? And hopefully soon we will have it as well on the Play Store. How was that?
That's
I
exciting.
always ask scale 1 to 10. Like really, this is your first time you see it. Scale 1 to 10, how much you give this idea?
That seems really fun for especially older children, like preschool up, because they understand how to use that. So
Yes.
that would give it a 10 for them, for sure.
Awesome. Awesome. And hopefully we're gonna improve it to add even like numbers and colors and all
That
of
would be
these
cool.
stuff. We're gonna see how it goes, right? Like we just I'm very excited to hear the feedback from a lot of people in the community, and then we improve it together.
That would be really cool. That's exciting.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay, let's go to the last part of this phone call, which is the action points. Give us action points.
All right, so I have 7 action points for you guys. So the first one is play structures learning. Simple. That's it's, play will structure learning in children. Play can look different depending on the child, depending on what their interests are or how they interact with others. Number 3, children learn basic skills and knowledge just through play, through anything, everyday routines, everyday activities. They'll learn basic skills, basic knowledge to start them on a path to future success. Number 4, just the smallest things that you can add into your everyday routines will incorporate play for their child, for any child, to make it fun. Number 5, make sure your child has open-ended materials to help support your play. Be able to play with them, be able to interact and ask questions. Number 4, observe your child while they are play. Number 4, why am I saying number 4? Number 6, observe your child while they're playing, or if they're playing with someone else, understand how they play, how they think, what they're doing, so you understand their interests. And my last but not least action point, make play a priority. Play is the number one thing in child development. It is how they learn, is how they go through everyday routines, understanding what they're doing.
I love it so much. You know what? Especially making it a priority, we have to get into this mindset.
Of course, because boring sit down work or just repeating everything step by step, it gets boring. This is fun. This is interactive. They use everything in their brain and their bodies to understand and do things just through play, and they understand it and they'll keep doing it.
Yes, and they will remember you and attach it to you because you did it with them, right?
Exactly.
Amazing. Amazing. Okay, thank you so much for your time. Thank you,
No
Pareese.
problem.
Always pleasure to have you here. And
Thank
for you
you.
guys, we're gonna wrap it up here. This is Khalid Farouk Hayek with Urban Kids Universe, and this is UKU Impacting Education Show. And today, where we're talking about play-based curriculum. And until next time, have a good one. Cheers.
Bye.
Bye for now.